Oh, buddy, where's my beautiful Patriots at? It's fun to get spicy today, y'all. We got a brand new Trump interview, and this bad boy is exclusive. And it's fun to get real and extra spicy. Make sure you drop a like and watch this one all the way through. We're riding in that truck with the check engine light on, but we had to pull that truck off the interstate and stop at the gas station real quick. We might have to go inside Buc-ee's. Y'all know what I'm talking about. That big old gas station where you can get breakfast, lunch, dinner, a set of new clothes. You could even buy you a new car in there. We had to pull over at Buc-ee's. But we still riding that truck with the check engine light on all the way to November. All the way to November. And we're going to crack open a cold one. Are y'all ready, man? Is y'all ready? This is fun to get good, man. And I hope everybody's having an amazing week. Had an amazing weekend and have an amazing start to the week. That the month of June treats all you beautiful people well, man. That 2024 treats you well because we are living in some dark times, man. People are struggling at an all-time high. Suicide rates, depression, anxiety, PTSD, all-time high in 2024. People are struggling, man. So I encourage you to spread the love, man. God is love. And I love all you guys, man, that are watching today's video. And please spread that love around, man. Spread it around. Because we are divided. We are declining at a very fast rate. This isn't America anymore, sadly, y'all. Y'all see what just took place. But Trump speaks after his guilty verdict. And I'm here for it, man. So let's check it out.
The Constitution. I'm fighting for the same thing that you three. I watch you all the time, and same thing that you do. You fight for freedom. You fight for your country. These people are sick. They're sick. They're deranged. I talk about the enemy on the outside and the enemy from within. So you have Russia, you have China. But if you have a smart president, you always handle him quite easily, actually. We have a lot of advantages. But the enemy from within, they are doing damage to this country. They want open borders. They want high interest rates. They now want to quadruple your taxes. Quadruple. All my life I watched politics, and it was always like politicians want to lower taxes, not quadruple them. There's a whole sickness going on right now. So we're doing really well. It was a tough venue. We tried to get out of the venue. We tried to get out of the judge, but we tried to get out of both. Wouldn't even think about it. So we had maybe the worst area in the whole country for me, in terms of vote. I'm sure if I sat down and explained it to that section of the world, we could probably make progress. But one of the worst sections, and they always bring them in these sections, D.C., there, places where Republicans, not just me, Republicans get like virtually no votes. But the good news is that I think we've set a record beyond all records for fundraising. That's like a poll. And another one just came out just before I got in that we're 6 points higher than we were before. So I don't know if that holds up. I mean, I'm just not sure. But people get it. It's a scam. And the Republican Party is really, they've stuck. They stick together in this. They see it's weaponization of the Justice Department, of the FBI. And, that's all coming out of Washington. You may think it's Bragg. Take a look at who opened the case. I'm not allowed to talk about it because I have a gag order. I'm probably, I guess, the first presidential nominee and the leading.
Again, y'all, this isn't about Trump, man. They can do it to a president. They can do it to you. And like I say, we just did a video. A lot of never Trumpers, even registered Democrats are speaking out against this, man. And tons are now going for Trump. Yeah, he has gained so much new support, and even when he broke the record with donations to the campaign, 40% were new donors after the guilty conviction, And the internet is going crazy right now with even never Trumpers.
Crooked Joe by a lot, that's not allowed to talk. Maybe they're doing me a big favor, who knows? But I'm not allowed to talk. I'm gagged. Nobody's ever heard of it. It's all coming out. It's weaponization, and it's a very dangerous thing. We've never had that in this country. They do have it in other countries, in South American countries. You know a little bit about it, right?
Well, that actually leads me to my question. I think for a lot of Americans, what's happened to you feels foreign. Like, this has never happened here before.
Yeah.
But for Hispanic Americans, people coming from Latin America, this feels very familiar.
Yeah.
And in those countries, people are imprisoned. You know, instead of going to the ballot box and fighting there, they're on house arrest. They're told they can't run for office. What is your message? And by the way, I think a lot of Hispanic Americans, I hear from them, they're scared about what they see. What's your message to them about what happened to you and about how scared they are that our country is turning into the countries that they left behind, the corrupt, dysfunctional countries they left behind?
And they are scared, and they're great people, and very entrepreneurial, great energy. And as you know, I'm doing very well with them. I mean, beyond anybody, I don't think anybody's ever had
Do you
polling.
think this is why, a little bit?
I think a little bit. And they've always liked me, and I've always liked them. You know, I've done well from the beginning. In 2016, I won the entire border along Texas, and they're all like 85%. And it's been great from the beginning, and now I'm leading. I think I'm leading over this guy that can't put two sentences together, that's destroying our country. Look, he's the worst president in the history of this country, and he's a danger to the country. And, you know, they have misinformation. Donald Trump is a threat to democracy. It's just words. He doesn't even know what it means. But it's like their slogan, I'm a threat to democracy. I'm the opposite. They're the threat to democracy.
Mr. President, I want to return to the verdict.
Don't even know what it means.
To explore something you said several times already in the conversation. You've referenced these people. I'm sure you've seen the video of Joe Biden when he was asked about the verdict, and he gave sort of a smirk to the camera.
Terrible. Remember, Bragg didn't want to do the case. He came out. He said, there's no case, and how can you have a witness like so-and-so? I'm not allowed to mention the name. Can you believe this? This guy's allowed to have shows, television shows. I'm not allowed to mention the name. It's so unfair. But regardless, you know, you have to really play the hand that you're dealt. And then you had a jury that was, you know, from a certain persuasion. Would have been hard to do no matter what. But I did absolutely nothing wrong. I mean, absolutely. Think of it. You know, I hate what they say, a bookkeeping, this and that. It's not. It's called, think of it, expense. I use the word expense. Legal expense. I pay a lawyer. He wasn't a fixer. He was a lawyer at the time. I pay a lawyer, and he's a lawyer. It's called legal expense. A bookkeeper, without ever speaking to me because she did the right thing, who's been with me for years, marks it down as legal expense. In other words, I paid a legal expense. It's marked down as a legal expense. And they say that's a fraud. What am I going to call it? Did you ever see a ledger? Do you ever study accounting? The line's like about an inch long and 1/8 of an inch wide. You can't write the story. But there is no story. If you pay a legal expense and you write it down as a legal expense, and then they indict you and they go to a grand jury, and they don't use Bob Casella's testimony. You know, they use almost none of it. They didn't want him before the grand jury because he's very persuasive. This judge didn't want him to talk. They shouldn't have allowed certain people to testify. It was totally wrong that they did that. So everyone tells me this is the easiest case they've ever seen to overturn, but they don't care because they want to last till after the election. Now, the only problem they have is that so far my poll numbers have gone up. You explain this to me because I don't. Pete maybe can explain it. Maybe Will. I don't know. Maybe Will can. They're smart in Texas, right? But the poll numbers have gone up substantially. I don't know if that's going to remain that way.
You changed your tone at some point during the trial. I would say maybe a bit more hopeful in the beginning, and then towards the end you said something to the effect of even Mother Teresa couldn't be acquitted in this venue. Was there a moment in the trial that you felt like it turned, or you saw that it was headed in a certain direction?
Well, when you object to something, your lawyers object, good lawyers, professional lawyers, good records, nice people. You know, I've had a lot of lawyers that weren't nice, and sometimes you're better off that way. These are really fine people. They'd object. Not accepted, not accepted, not accepted. When the government, meaning the DA, Bragg, when he said something, all right, good, that's fine. Go on, more. But the main thing is this, that this was turned down by the Southern District. This is over years. This could have been brought 7 years ago. You know, they tried to rush it. because they wanted it before the election. But this could have been brought 7 years ago, but they didn't have any intention. A case like this has never been brought before. And there's never been a case where a state has gone after a federal election. In other words, that's for a federal. That's for like the Southern District to go. Southern District turned it down. We got clearance from the FEC, Federal Election Commission, clearance. They're suing, saying we violated a thing, but they gave us clearance. But the charge was written, I mean, it was like a weird charge. You'd have a little of this, a little of that, do a little of this, throw a little, mix it up.
You set the arraignment date for 4 days before the RNC.
Yeah, well, that's part of the game.
It is. Some have suggested you could appeal straight to the Supreme Court because of the special nature of this case. When it comes to the legal maze that you're still facing, and the judge could decide to say, hey, house arrest or even jail. How do you face what that could look like?
I'm okay with it. I saw one of my lawyers the other day on television saying, oh, no, you don't want to do that to the president. I said, you don't beg for anything. You just, the way it is. Think of it. They have all my books. You know, they went to, for 5 years, they sued me getting my tax returns, right? At the end of 5 years, they got them. The Supreme Court actually gave it to them. That was the end of it. That was it. They never found anything. They hired the best accounting firms. I had a pure gold firm. They call it a gold-rated firm. I don't know. It's supposed to be. Who knows? But with all that stuff, for years you heard about my tax.
They never looked into the Clinton Foundation.
And they never found it. They never went all the way with the Clinton Foundation. They never went all the way with the Clinton Foundation, which is sort of interesting, isn't it? But so that could happen. I don't know that the public would stand it. You know, I'm not sure the public would stand for it. With a,
you say you tried house arrest or?
I think it would be tough for the public to take. You know, at a certain point, there's a breaking point.
People ask you, why do you do this? How can you do this? I mean, not to mention the rally after rally, the energy. But maybe the question isn't how do you do this over and over, but how does your family do this? All the obstacles, these are things you care about. Your ambitions for the country. What about everybody around you?
So I think in many ways it's tougher on them than it is on me. They're good people, all of them, everyone. I have a wonderful wife who has to listen to this stuff all the time. They do that for this reason. They do that, all these salacious names that they put in of these people. And I'm not even allowed to defend myself because of a gag order. Think of it. But they put this stuff in to create havoc. These are bad people. I know everything they're doing. I know every move they make. I get it. But a lot of people don't. But it's tougher. I think it's probably, in many ways, it's tougher on my family than it is on me.
How's Melania doing?
She's fine, but I think it's very hard for her. I mean, she's fine. But it's, she has to read all this crap.
What about Barron? People started to focus on Barron recently.
He's amazing, actually, in a certain way. He's tall, good-looking guy. He's a very good student. And he's applied to colleges and gets into everywhere he goes. He's very sought after from the standpoint. He's a very smart guy. He's a very tall guy, but he's a great kid. He's cool. He's pretty cool, I'll tell you. It's very interesting. The colleges, 6 months ago, you look at a college and you sort of want a certain college, and then you see all of these colleges are rioting.
Yeah. Yeah.
And maybe you want to go to a different kind of a college, because there's plenty of colleges that we also like that are different, and they don't riot.
That's the first part of our interview with former President Donald Trump. We'll be playing it throughout the morning. Again, it was an hour-and-a-half interview. That's a 10-minute chunk. And throughout the morning, we'll be playing different portions.
I'm Steve Doocy.
Boy. We riding, baby, with the check engine light on. That was actually refreshing, though, you guys. That was very refreshing. Can't y'all agree? That was very refreshing, man. And to see what they put this man through, man, and to how he responded in this interview, it goes to show you, Trump 2024, baby. We're gonna crack open a cold one in November. And it might just be a landslide. I love you guys. I'm wishing the best in all you guys' life. Remember to spread the love to one another, man. We are living in some dark, dark times, man. Dark, dark times. And I will catch y'all on the next one. Peace and love, y'all.